Hey everybody, welcome to Phonogenics 101. I get delirious whenever I think about Prince's fifth album, 1999. Thanks to my Patreon subscribers for putting a little money in my bank account. Thanks to my friends for being here on the panel. Thanks to the YouTube subscribers for making it look like this is worthwhile for all of us. We are a little keyed up tonight. We are here to talk about music. 200 years from now, the music will remain. But how the music affected everybody and how it affected pop culture will not remain if we don't leave a record. So that's what we're here to do, is talk about how this music has made us feel, how it's affected our lives, and we all love Prince. This is the Prince panel. Dear friends here, and I'm ready to talk about this album. Let's go around the panel and everyone talk about their relationship with 1999. I'll go in order. Ann Fearman, we're going to start with you.
Hi, everyone. This album really launched Prince for me as a kid in front of MTV. I just was astounded by his gloriousness.
And still are, right? All right, Aisha.
In many ways, and we will get into that this evening.
It was, I was probably like 7, 8 when this album came out. And so I just remember it was one of the first videos of someone who looked like me on MTV. And so, and that was in constant rotation. So, it's like you see Michael Jackson, you might see Billy Ocean, Donna Summer, and then there was Prince. And you would wait all day to see these videos. And the thing is about the Little Red Corvette video was what really caught my eye. Even to this day, it's kind of like, oh, that was like the only time we saw Prince in jeans.
Oh.
Yeah. But
I'm going to have to watch that now.
Yeah.
His dancing in the video is superb. And so it just kind of, got me noticing him, but it's the 6th album that really pulled me in. So
okay,
but this is one that I really enjoy because you can see the growth from Controversy to this album to Purple Rain and how this album connects.
And the amount of growth was like astronomical.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Melissa Riley.
Okay, this is where my love affair with Prince began. Again, it's the Little Red Corvette video. I didn't have MTV. I was in a small town. I didn't have cable, but we had Friday night videos. So on Friday nights, we would watch all the videos. And when that Little Red Corvette video came across and he's dancing across the stage, I was just like, wow, who is this guy? So that's when I started listening and getting into it. And yeah, brings back good memories.
I love it. And we're here to talk about it tonight. All right, Clark Brooks.
Yeah, for me, this was the one similar to Ann's experience and Melissa's. This is where Prince went from being, oh, this guy is good to, okay, this is something. This is a big deal. This is different than anything else on the radio, anything else that anybody else is putting out, and it's time to really pay attention to this guy on a deeper level than I had been before.
Right. So this album came out in 1983. It was
82, wasn't it?
82. See, I'm fired as a host already. 82.
Get out of here.
He was filming Purple Rain in 83. Yes. And I didn't really, 1999, the song was everywhere. And of course, Little Red Corvette. But it took Purple Rain for me to go back to 1999. I always saw 1999 at Hills. We had this department store called Hills. And I always remember seeing the album cover there. And at the time, it was ballsy for an artist to have a double album. That wasn't Prince wasn't a megastar yet, but Warner Brothers gave him 4 sides of vinyl to kind of expand a little bit and to stretch his imagination. And damn, they made the right choice for sure.
And his face wasn't even on the cover.
Right. So here's the cover. This is the first time it says "and the Revolution" on an album cover.
Oh, okay.
In the eyes, it's a very strange cover. Don't you feel like?
Mm-hmm.
I think that
what's the story with that cover?
I think that he captured him. He was trying to do pieces of himself in there. Like he has the pants that he wore.
Mm-hmm.
Prince did not
So
like
he
his
drew this, Aisha. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Got it.
He did not like his teeth. He did not like his teeth. And so what we see with the teeth and the C is how he sees his mouth, his teeth.
Okay.
And then there's that phallic symbol for the one.
Right. You have the little patch from his jacket on there.
The rude boy pin, the patch, the spiked patch from his jacket, and Jill's arm. I believe that's Jill's arm.
Oh, yeah.
The R.
Can you hold it up, Gloff?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I feel like he was very much like building his
and he has his eyes in the nines.
Right. And then there's this
last 9 looked like a My Little Pony. Just want to point that out.
Yeah.
I thought this picture was very sexy of him laying on the bed.
Yeah.
Like he's got his ass in there a little bit.
He's got such a nice ass. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I love how he's got it like out, like
Yeah.
Yeah. Like a cat.
All right.
Yeah.
So, the first 4 albums were kind of all Prince, and then he'd have some friends kind of do a little bit here or there. But this is the first album where he kind of opened it up more for the band, I feel like, which even though he probably still played everything on it. But I feel like there were more contributions than usual.
Yes.
Here.
Yeah. Agreed.
One of the things you're going to hear on this album, if you listen to it next to Rick James's street songs, is the keyboards are programmed the same because Rick James stole Prince's keyboards that he had programmed in 1999 and sent them back with a thank you note. So that's an interesting little bit of
really
history.
Interesting. Yeah. Rick James.
That damn Rick James. And he's from Buffalo, where we're from, too.
Yeah, he is.
Which he would be, you know what I mean?
He would, yeah.
Yeah. So
love him.
that's a little interesting history when you hear like the sounds that sound like horns in 1999. Go listen to "Give It to Me, Baby" by Rick James. They're the same.
Wow.
Well,
all right. Well, let's go into the album. 1999. What the hell can you say about this song? It's such an iconic song. It was originally recorded as a 3-part harmony with the whole band. Then he started isolating the vocal tracks.
Mm-hmm.
So
okay, that's really interesting.
Yeah.
All right.
It works better that way. I mean, to listen to them all sing all the vocals
would love
together.
To hear that.
Yeah, that I guess it didn't work.
Okay.
right.
It didn't
I
sound
just
the way
hear
Prince,
that, because they have very different voices.
right. It didn't sound the way Prince wanted it to sound. Kind of, I guess he was kind of wanted to do something like he did with Love Bazaar, actually, later on, where both voices do
the whole song.
the whole song, but this just didn't work. So I like the fact that he decided to break it up.
Yeah, I think it was iconic. I think it would have been a little monotonous if you had the 3-part harmony through the whole thing.
Yeah.
And this is where our buddy Jill Jones gets introduced into the Prince universe, singing the co-lead vocal with Lisa Coleman. Which, as a kid, I was confused because there was Wendy and Lisa in Purple Rain. Mm-hmm. And then there were 2 girls in 1999. So I thought that was Wendy and Lisa.
Yeah, I did too.
I would never say that.
Oh, jeez.
Nor would I.
But I knew who she was immediately when I saw the video,
right?
Just because of Tina Marie and my love for Tina Marie. So I always knew who she was when I saw the video.
And Jill's voice was so strong, and I feel like it was such an instrumental part of the Prince sound.
Yeah.
And same with like Brenda Bennett. Like he got these like kind of strange, has like a negative connotation. They weren't strange voices, but they're very unique and strong voices that added so much to the sound. And then on the other hand, he had like these shitty singers that also added to the sound in a good way. Like I love
because it retains sort of those punk roots. I think I just spit. It retains some of those punk roots though, which is I think something that made Prince stand out so differently. I mean, he was like a control freak and everything had to be just so, but at the same time, he still had that, glam rock and that, sort of fuck shit up attitude.
Right.
Which I love.
Yeah, and he would kind of say, "This is what I've got, so this is how I'm going to work with it."
Yeah. And I wanted to point out that I thought it was an interesting thing to do to have your very first song open without you being the vocalist, right? To have somebody else as the very first singer. I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, I do think it's a little ballsy and really awesome.
It is.
Because you have Joe and Lisa.
The song itself is ballsy. It's such an anthem with the big blaring, horn overture basically that starts it out. So
it's gorgeous. It really is such a perfect opening song. Like it set that tone that this was a dance album for the most part.
It's very theatrical. You can picture yourself sitting in a theater with the curtains opening with this song playing.
Yeah.
But there's also that message in the song too, that you get so lost in the danceability of the song and the instrumentation and just what he did that, sometimes the message can go over your head unless you're really sitting there and thinking. And he's talking about this Cold War. And so, and the fear of, well, what will happen? Well, whatever, it's going to happen. So I'm just going to party.
I think Prince came a long way with his politics from Ronnie Talk to Russia to 1990.
Yeah, exactly.
That song is so terrible.
Melissa, do you like it?
Melissa's like,
it is horrible. But
yay!
1990, yes, I love it. It's an iconic song. I like the beginning, how it comes on with the "Don't Worry." I can't quote it.
Oh yeah.
Yes, that's
I can't quote it like word
for
word.
Don't worry, I won't hurt you.
5 minutes ago.
Yes.
Yeah, don't worry, I won't hurt you.
I only want you to have some fun.
That just kind of brings you in, and then the whole 1999 iconicness of it, and people how it lived for the next 20, 30 years. People waiting for 1999 to come. I mean, there's still now, even though after 1999, but
right.
And then we got the new master, 1999, the new master in 1999, where he re-recorded it.
Oh, was there any big difference in that?
No. It was a copyright battle, so it was.
Okay.
I'm gonna go ahead and stick with the original. I think.
Yeah,
I think that was kind of like the Taylor Swift thing.
Yeah.
Didn't we have Zoe Saldana do like a poem in the middle of it or something?
Yeah.
Oh, I feel like I do remember that now. I love it.
But on the original, structurally, I love the fact that it's so big and so over the top for 99% of it, and then it scales down to this tiny, real funky guitar breakdown at the very end, and it's just so minimal. And I love that it just went from that to that.
Yeah, and I feel like that sound there is like foreshadowing for Sign of the Times.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, his other double album.
I think if you listen to the drum programming of 1999 and Controversy, he really was fine-tuning that to get to When Doves Cry.
Oh yeah,
the drum programming is so similar, and just experimenting more with the Linn drum machine, he got to be really good at the programming of it. You could tell in this album compared to the last one.
Right. I feel this album was definitely a lot more electronic than Controversy.
Oh, indeed.
Yeah. Yep.
And I felt like, I liked Controversy. And I liked that it was tight and, brief, but really intentional. This one, to me, feels very much though like he loved it. Like he loved putting it together.
Yeah.
And he really enjoyed the music of it. It's just, like Aisha said, even in the first song, which is a really sort of a call to awareness, about impending doom and gloom, it's still this amazing dance song.
Yeah, and you can lose. I realized the other day I was listening to it, and I'm like, 2000 is not 2000. It's like 200,000, right? And I'm like,
Right.
you can even ignore the incorrectness of that line,
Yes.
right? Because it's such a great song.
Yes. And it had to happen because that's the only way it would have sounded
It would've-
good, right?
yeah, it
right.
would've-
And we are like,
exactly.
yes, we get that, Prince.
We get
Yeah.
what you're saying.
And don't you think Prince knew he was onto something here? There was definitely a confidence
yeah.
where he's like,
Yes.
I'm in
Yeah.
my game right
I'm
here.
in my element.
I really thought that, I really got that he felt this is the album that's going to break through and make me a household name.
Right.
I don't think he even anticipated what would come after.
Right.
You can tell he was just in the moment here in this album.
So does anyone have information on how it did launch him? I mean, obviously the first 3 songs are, super, super well known. But did it launch him the way that we remember it launched him for us? Or was it, still sort of a soft open and it was, the next album that really pushed
Well, he
him
sold
there?
like 3 million copies of that album. I think what helped was that Triple Threat tour
Yeah.
that with him, The Time, and Vanity 6
Yeah.
really kind of put him in the forefront there so that he could ask for a movie,
Right.
so that he
Nice.
could ask
That-
for things.
That and the Little Red Corvette video really was a big deal in that it broke through on MTV the way it did.
Because they were top
Absolutely.
10 hits. Both 1999 and Little Red Corvette were top 10, correct?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Didn't Little Red Corvette come out first, though, as a single?
I believe so.
I think
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
I'm trying
But
to look up.
you just didn't see black artists on MTV
No.
until Prince and Michael Jackson. So, I mean, you talk about Jackie Robinson in baseball. This is easily the equivalent of that in pop music.
Yep.
We agree.
The first black artist MTV played was Eddie Grant, Electric
Right.
Avenue.
All right, so it says 1999 actually went to number 12. Little Red Corvette went to number 6. Delirious went to number 8.
Yeah. Because
That's-
Delirious was a huge song.
Yeah.
I mean, that's,
Yeah.
So that's 3 major singles from someone with controversy. Certainly was not a top 10 album.
but it has my
And
favorite
see,
song.
I never heard Delirious being played on our local radio stations. They didn't play it.
Really?
No, they played 1999, Little Red Corvette. But that's pretty much
Yeah.
all they played from that album.
I remember Delirious quite well. So that's interesting because obviously certain places really scooped that up. It was such a good dance song.
Yeah, they definitely played it at
Yeah.
the dances in high school. I remember it at the dances.
Yes. Yes.
All
Well,
right,
at our high school, the song that broke through before any of the big radio hits was actually "Lady Cab Driver."
really?
Oh yeah, our school at all our dances and all our
Wow.
parties. Yeah, somehow I don't know. Somebody at our school had a knack for finding album cuts, and they went right to that one.
Lady Cab Driver.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
That's not what I would have expected from that album. Is
No,
the breakthrough.
And see, they used to play Automatic here kind of late at night,
Right.
but they would play it on the radio. That's the song that I remember them playing. And kids my age sneaking to listen and and singing
Because
it.
he's so sexy. He's
Yes.
so sexy.
I love the video for that
Thank you,
song.
Ann.
Oh my god. I love the video for that song.
Anytime.
All right, so any thoughts on 1999 before we move on to track 2?
I
Andy,
like
need,
it.
Andy, need to cool off up there?
No, I'm good. I'm good. Keep plugging away.
Yeah.
All right.
Clark, I liked it.
Yeah, I think he's got something there.
Yeah,
I think so.
we might have a winner. Okay, Little Red Corvette. I'm not even worthy of talking about this song. Talk
It's
about-
perfect,
Okay, I'm
right?
gonna tell
it's
a
like
story.
the perfect song. Oh, yay. All right.
All right, I had this hookup with this guy in Newport Richie. So it was like an hour. And it was like in the middle of the night. It was all like misty. And I remember listening to Little Red Corvette like the whole way there. We hooked up behind like a storage unit.
Beautiful. So romantic. Romance is not dead.
But I'm like, I felt like listening to Red Corvette. I'm like, oh my God, I feel so romantic. And then 2 years later, I was at this club, The Castle, and Little Red Corvette came on, and I had to dance with him and his fucking boyfriend to that song.
You had to. I love that. I had to.
So it's like, that was my song for the storage unit hookup, not him and his boyfriend dancing on the dance floor. All right, that's all I got.
How rude.
Yes.
So behind-
I understand totally why you had to.
He's still on my Instagram too, so I have to watch him and another guy. Okay, let's get back to the album. But it was so like
wait a minute. Behind a storage shed full of
Correct.
somebody's unwanted furniture is where your horses ran free.
yes. But you know, like when you listen to a song, like I felt so
Poetry,
romantic.
Clark.
The innuendos are very clever.
Yes, and it was foggy,
Yeah,
and I swear the fog was
clever.
purple. Like the fog was purple. Prince was still alive. He was still with us back then. But his he was with me that night, and you know.
And he was happy to be there.
I just got like 3 thumbs down on my podcast, but listen. that was a good time. That night was a good time. Okay. So now that we heard that story, how do you guys feel about the song Little Red Corvette?
I love that song. I love the way it starts, and seeing him perform it live is great because he sat at the piano and he would play it, and like he would go through half the song, just him on the piano, before the band would come in with the drums and the guitars and everything. And it was really great to see live. And, you know, it's overall just a great song. And, you know, I learned the lesson. I wouldn't be a fast girl.
Oh, I so wanted
Between
to be
that
that
and
fast
Kiss,
girl.
I was like, oh, okay, thank you for helping to raise me.
And he actually lets Dez have the guitar solos on this, doesn't he?
Right.
It doesn't sound like his playing.
No, it's Dez.
That's a huge gesture on his part for that to be that big a hit, and he lets Dez take the lead on the guitars. You know, that's pretty magnanimous.
Yeah.
And I swear
he makes these choices on this album about sharing that are really interesting. Sorry, Gloff.
I think
swear recording this album, he was probably his most open.
Yeah.
You know, it was before the fame, the really big fame. So he was more Prince Nelson making a record than he was Superstar Prince making a record.
The vultures started coming.
Right.
One thing I noticed when I bought the deluxe edition a couple of years ago that has the live concert from Detroit is he still was very much to sticking with playing live the way it sounded on the radio, on the record.
Oh yeah.
Which he got away from in a great way, even during the Purple Rain tour. But during the 1999 tour, he was still very much making the songs sound like they did on the record.
Yeah. Which, you know what? I know it's not cool, but I love that. So I'm totally down with that.
Yeah, I like when it sounds like. I remember Pat Benatar did like an acoustic "Love Is a Battlefield."
Ew!
Get out
How dare she?
Prince did Cream, and he did this medley of acoustic music smack in the middle of his concert. It was like the show is 3 hours long. Okay, so he did 1 hour with the band, and he did 1 hour just himself with the guitar, and then another hour where the band came back and it was the close of the show. But just sitting there, he played a medley of songs, and Little Red Corvette was one of them too. When he did that, he started out with the guitar, went to the piano, and then, eventually the band came in. But I think that he is most comfortable doing the him with the guitar or the piano.
Right.
Pretty sweet deal. If you're in the band, you get to go eat lunch for an hour while the boss is.
Right.
Yeah.
Jeremy, I interrupted you ages ago. Please tell what you were going to say.
Oh, I was just going to say that when I listened to this in the car, I could always not wait till it came to Lisa's little solo at the end. Right to the ground. Like I sang that with all my heart in the car.
Yeah.
I love Lisa's
and everyone
voice.
sounds joyous on it. Like that's a thing too, that so many of the songs, like all of the songs, sound excited to be there, enjoy, you know, it's just, it's the beginning of something beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was definitely, the culture was on a precipice. That's my $20 word for the day.
It's
Well,
a
he
good
really
word.
had
That's a good
something to
one.
prove to Warner Brothers. So at this
Yeah.
point, it's his second contract. He did Controversy, which did what it did, and he knew that if he didn't pull out a hit the next time, after that third album and that second contract, they would drop him.
Yeah.
So he really had to, you know, he was under that pressure, but he also wanted to create something and bring all his friends along, because this is also the period where he's thinking about doing that film, The Second Coming.
Right.
And so, you know, it was him bringing his community with him,
Which I
to
loved.
do this album, which makes the album more, I think this album is the most eclectic of the albums in this 80s period, because of the different voices and different energies that he put into it.
I had a point, but I totally forgot it. It was about
Melissa,
Melissa,
do you
what do you think of Little Red Corvette?
I like it.
No, I love the song. This is, so like I said, this is when I fell in love with Prince, but I was in middle school, so I didn't know what these innuendos meant. It didn't even click in my mind. It was on the radio all the time. Never thought anything about it till, you know, you get older and realize, oh, that's what he meant. But
Does she have used condoms in her pocket? Is that what he's saying?
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
That's
Trojans.
nasty.
That is nasty.
That is
There's
nasty.
no need for that.
I wonder if he got a kick out of the fact that he was able to be dirty without being dirty
Yeah.
and get away with that. I wonder
And,
if that.
and not only get away with it, but like blow it up and be constantly on the
Well, this-
radio. Yeah.
but-
on the radio.
This album makes you wonder why Tipper Gore waited so late
I
to
know.
start. It's like, really, she should
She
have been
liked
after
it,
him
that's why.
at Dirty Mind. Okay.
Yeah.
Gosh.
But she
For
went
reals.
she didn't go after him at this one. Little Red Corvette was full of sexual innuendos, and it was in constant rotation.
Mhm.
Opposed
Well,
to Darling Nikki was not, but she went after that song.
That song.
Right.
Yeah, but I think the story on that is it's because her daughter actually bought that record home, and so
Yeah.
she heard
Oh.
that song.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Right.
Darling Nikki is one of my all-time favorites, and that was another role model for me.
I remembered what I was going to say. I feel like a lot of 80s songs sound dated in 80s, and I feel like Little
Yeah.
Red Corvette does not sound
No.
dated.
No,
Totally agree.
and
Yeah, I
have you
agree.
have you heard the dance remix of it?
Yeah,
I love that.
I love it too. Yep.
I love it.
I don't think I've heard that.
It just adds that little.
What, Melissa?
I said, I don't think I've heard that one.
That's not possible.
I probably have, but I don't remember it.
Okay,
It doesn't
that's
stand
better.
out in my mind.
That's
I
better.
like
Put
the
it-
drum
let me
programming
rephrase
being
that.
different on that.
Yeah, it just adds like
Really?
another beat in there.
Yeah, it has another beat in there. It's kind of
Hmm.
yeah. It reminds me a lot of Usher's Good Kisser with the drum beat for that song that he added to it when he added to it for the dance remix.
And that storage unit was off of US 19. If anyone,
Oh my God, I love it.
They took it down. They got rid of it.
Did you review it? Give it.
I'd give that
a Yelp.
5 stars right there. Okay,
5 dicks up.
any thoughts on Little Red Corvette before we move on?
Beautiful song. Perfect song. Perfect
Oh,
song.
Love
I'm
it.
thinking about 2009 right now. I really
Don't forget to watch the
What's
video
that?
again and watch him in jeans.
Okay, yes.
And you can see that he's wearing jeans because he's wearing the same outfit on the cover of Rolling Stone with Vanity.
Oh, I love that cover.
Oh, yeah, that's a good cover.
Oh, and me and Clark have to mention that the 1999 video was filmed.
Hold on. Oh, go ahead.
It was filmed 30 minutes from where I'm sitting right now, over in Lakeland,
No way.
Yeah.
Wow.
Right.
at
Yeah,
the Lakeland Civic Center.
The Lakeland Civic Center actually has a pretty good reputation for not only hosting shows, but also being a rehearsal point for bands, because a lot of them start their tours in Florida and then work north. And a lot of bands will go to Lakeland and take up a residency for a month or more and work their shows out before starting their tours.
Hmm.
Hmm. Yeah.
All right. Well, track 3 is Aisha's favorite. I just got an eye roll right there. I love it. This is a song that I didn't realize was Prince till I got the album. I'm like, oh, this is a Prince song? Because this was on the radio all the time, but I didn't realize it was Prince. Delirious. It has a really interesting synth line. It's a little rockabilly. I like it. I think it's
Love it.
Good third single.
I'm interested to hear how Ann feels about it, knowing that she wasn't a big fan of the rockabilly stuff on the previous records.
When other people say, when you say the two of you claim rockabilly, there's a part of me that's like, I don't really see it. I didn't see that. I didn't feel that.
I don't either.
One, right? But here, and I don't necessarily. I love this song because I think it's just a funky, fun, sexy, good rockin' good ass time. But I guess I don't hear the rockabilly part.
When I think of rockabilly, I think of our friend Faith.
Yeah. A koi.
I can easily see Brian Setzer playing this song, though.
Okay.
I would love to hear that. I would love to hear it sort of put through, like remember the squirrels, zipper squirrels or whatever?
Yeah.
Right? Like I would love to hear that. But there's that, I just, it's a great freaking song.
I want to show you something.
It's very squeaky.
Oh, yes. So sad. Oh my God.
Oh.
I had that in my room.
Rest in peace. And I want to do every Vanity album on this someday too, even her solo albums. I'm ready to get some Wild Animal, baby.
Really?
Aisha. Oh.
Pretty mess. Oh.
Beautiful.
That came today. That's why it's sitting near me.
I don't blame you. That's exciting.
Yeah.
What happened there, Jeremy? Where'd you go?
My bad. My bad.
There it is. That one looks original too, Jeremy. Is it an original?
Look at her outfit.
Yes.
There. Look at that outfit.
Oh yeah.
I know, it's great, isn't it?
It's sexy. Is it just a coat? Is that all she's wearing?
So
It looks
Yeah,
like
it looks like it. It looks
Good
like
for
it.
her.
See?
What else do you need when you have a fur coat, right?
Yeah.
Clothing optional.
Vanity was the best ever. Okay, but we're going off topic. Aisha, why do you not love Delirious? Let's get a counterpoint of view.
Do tell.
It's not that I don't like it. It's one of those songs where it's like if it's on, I'll listen to it. It's not one that I go to. If I'm listening to this album, I will skip it.
Okay.
Bold move, Aisha.
I just think that it doesn't fit on this album. It's not that I don't like the song; it doesn't fit with the whole concept of this album. And when you listen to all the other songs, I think it would have done better probably on Dirty Mind or Controversy, because it would fit better with those songs than it does with this.
Okay.
With these, I just think it's out of place.
I think it fits perfectly in this album. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree. Because to me, this is a dance album, and Delirious is such a dance song. And I like, there are other songs that I felt like I could see them fitting, but like this one, because the first 3 songs are just killers. I love it.
It is a powerhouse. Like this was side 1 of the vinyl. It's a powerhouse.
I don't like the way the song ends. I think that's the other.
Oh, the baby?
Huh?
The little baby sound?
Yeah, that's the thing for me. I don't like the way it ends either.
It is a strange, but that I think there's something like whimsical about it.
Yeah.
Like there's a sense of fun in there. And again, I feel like that is also foreshadowing when he gets to Sign of the Times.
The lyrics are great.
Yeah.
I mean, no doubt the lyrics are great. I just don't like the music.
I do like the way he sings it. I get delirious.
I do too.
It's like Elvis, Elvis impersonation.
Yes. Oh, okay. So that's where I see what you're saying with the rockabilly or whatever. Yeah. All right. Yeah. I love
don't like
it.
the whole Elvis impersonation thing.
Yeah, I love it.
I
Cool.
don't.
And that's what makes music wonderful. There's no right or wrong.
Mhm.
Yeah.
All right.
Right.
So side one, overall Prince, next level Prince from where we've been before.
Yes.
You
Really?
flip over the album and this drum beat starts. This is a song that I first discovered as the B-side of Tina Turner's I Can't Stand the Rain. She did a live version.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so that's how I first knew Let's Pretend We're Married. I will say that Tina Turner left some parts out of her live version from Prince's version.
Yeah.
She has a
little
PG
bit.
version. Yeah. Yeah,
It's
that's
pretty great, though. It's still pretty great.
Yeah, Tina Turner does
Tina
no
Turner's
wrong.
version. Yeah.
I've never
Yeah,
heard
that
it.
was during
Tina
that was-
Turner's.
It's great. It's actually really good.
I haven't heard it either.
You know,
Melissa.
there are very few Prince covers that are like, hers is one of those. I think she picked the right song for her voice.
Yeah.
and that was when Tina was doing her resurgence after What's Love Got to Do with It. She would do
Yeah.
that.
Right.
Because she was on fire right then.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was huge.
So then, after I started buying Prince albums when Parade came out. So that's, I bought Parade, then went backwards.
Yeah.
And when I got 1999, I didn't realize that Let's Pretend We're Married was a Prince song. Well, I guess I knew it from the credits, but I didn't know which album it was on. So I was in for a bit of a surprise when I heard the album.
Yes. The
I mean,
unedited version. Yeah.
he talked about having sex with his sister on Dirty Mind. Okay.
Mhm.
Controversy, he wishes everyone was naked. But I feel like Let's
Who
Pretend We're
doesn't, though?
Married. Yeah, who
Wait,
doesn't?
He
He did talk about the girl that was on her way to get married.
Yeah,
And
Yes.
And
Yes.
then-
And
Let's
giving him
pretend we're
head in the
married.
cab, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
and now it's like, I need a mouth like yours. Let's
Yeah.
do this.
Yeah.
He wasn't shy about asking for what he wanted in this song.
Prince just likes to throw out suggestions.
Yeah.
This is a dirty
Let's
song.
pretend. Let's pretend.
Yes. And
Yeah.
just by the title, you would think it's really sweet.
Right.
Yeah.
But then it ends up being kind of a fetish kind of song.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's like, let's have married sex,
Yeah.
Yeah.
which in most
This is
cases
the
I think would
song-
be none.
Yeah.
This is the song when I tell people who don't really know about Prince about his use of keys as horns.
Mhm.
I think this song is probably the best, easiest example of that because those are straight up horn lines throughout that whole song.
And I'm glad he didn't have a horn section yet. I like that it was done on synth. It adds a certain feel to it
Yeah.
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 that I think he actually tried to recapture many years later, but you can never really go back. This is a dirty song. This is
Oh,
dirty.
yeah.
Yeah.
Dirty.
It is.
Indeed. Yeah.
Um,
And I'm surprised that, I understand Darling Nikki, but like this one, you would think that, they'd have been all over it as well. Now, granted, it wasn't on the radio, but Darling
Yeah.
Nikki was never on the radio either.
Exactly. That was the point I
very-
made before. It's
Yeah.
like, how, But I guess,
Right.
no one
As
was
Clark
listening
said,
to 1999.
daughter
There was
got
no
the album.
movie.
They just didn't
Yeah.
hear it. Yeah.
right.
yeah. Yes. Then they hear it wafting out of their princess's door, right? That's all pink and what's that woman? Frank, that woman that has
Lisa
all the,
Frank?
yes, Lisa Frank, and suddenly, she's turned into a masturbating demon child, I'm sure.
I knew better than to listen to this song without, headphones. I knew
Right.
better
Right.
to do it because I was so young. And
Yeah.
I did that with most Prince songs that my mother didn't even know that Prince wrote dirty lyrics. Like 5 years ago, she was surprised to find that out.
Oh.
It's the classic thing where he says something, you're kind of going, did he just say, oh yeah, he did say it. And he said it again and louder.
Yeah. In many different ways. Yeah.
Many different ways.
But the first time you hear it, you're like, I'm not sure. Did he? Oh yeah, he did. Okay.
I'm not going to
Right,
repeat
right.
here what he said just because I'm a lady. I don't talk like that.
I don't blame you.
But and then I like it. It's like the keyboard, like doo-doo-doo-doo, like in the background.
Yes. It's almost like when you tell a joke and it's like boom boom, like he knows, he's having fun with this.
He wants to take the taste out of your mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he got to a point where the innuendos weren't working anymore. I'm just going to tell you what I wanted.
Yeah.
Right.
Let's throw it out there.
For those in the back, right? Yeah.
Exactly. If you don't understand, this is what I said.
This is where the innuendo ends for Prince.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I have-
Exactly. Like I'm tired of messing around and whatever. Just this is what I want to do.
Know that this is exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Did he ever do this on a later tour? He's like, I wanna save you. Like,
No.
no.
I have a
Melissa,
wonder why
do
he
you
calls
love
her a
this song?
Martian.
I do love this song.
Oh.
Yes. I do.
I don't blame you. I mean, it is a great song. Yeah. He calls her a Martian.
Yeah, why does he call her a Martian?
I don't know.
Maybe about the anal probing.
I don't know. It never popped up before, and it never pops up again, as far as I know. He never calls anybody else a space creature.
Where does he do that in the song?
Look, you Martian. I don't want to be nasty, but
Oh,
That is weird.
yeah.
I thought he was saying Marsha.
that's bizarre. Hold on. I have there's
I thought he was saying
website.
Marsha.
That's what I think.
Oh,
he
maybe
was
it's a Brady
saying.
Bunch reference.
No.
There's a website that I have online on my phone, like saved, that does all the Prince lyrics.
Okay.
So
Need
I'm
some
gonna check that out.
clarification here.
Right.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I'm gonna treat you to the Rainbow Children version of the song. I
Ooh.
wanna pray for you. No.
It's terrible.
Go
I
back to
don't
your
think
storage
I've ever
unit.
done that.
Oh! I did some praying there.
Oh, yeah. You were on your knees at least.
Yeah, I wonder how he handled that, because did he even perform it at all? I
Yeah,
mean,
did he ever perform this?
he changed sexuality,
Where's-
sensuality.
Joffrey.
Yes, that's exactly what I was thinking, Melissa. He would.
We
know
need
it.
him with all
I
his 66.
know.
Yep.
He'd be like, yes.
It's Marsha.
Marsha?
Yeah,
Marsha.
Marsha.
Okay.
That's what I
Look here,
All right.
Marsha. Look here,
All right.
Marsha. I'm not,
Oh,
yeah.
but Clark, I wanted it to be Martian too.
I'm still pretty confused though, because who's Marsha?
Right. Right.
Somebody.
But
Yeah.
it's kind of like, what song is it? Insatiable, where he's like all of a sudden throws out the name Martha.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
Oh.
he just throws names like, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and
Huh.
they maybe one of the women that, you know, he was seeing.
One of the many.
Yeah, because you know,
Marsha,
one of his
you
things for
lucky
sure
girl.
is that
We don't know all of them.
one thing for sure is that
Right.
you know you got a song if you were with him.
The way he phrased it is why I thought it was Marsha, because he says, "Look, you Marsha,"
Yeah.
like it's an epithet, an epithet.
Yeah.
It says, "Look here, Marsha."
Yeah, look here, Marsha.
Oh,
Yeah.
here. Oh,
I was like, huh?
all right.
Maybe the Brady Bunch was on the TV when he was in the studio.
I hope it's one of the later episodes.
Yeah, with
Oh my God, Clark.
Cousin Oliver. With Cousin Oliver.
Maybe he had a crush on Marsha growing up. I mean, I don't know.
No, he would not have had a
I had a crush on
I
Peter.
think. Wait a second. Doesn't he talk
I think
about
he
a
would
girl
like
named
Jan.
Marcy in his memoir? Yeah.
I have
I
not
don't know.
read his memoir.
Yeah, I'm
He
not
talks
sure.
about-
Who knows?
He talks about a girl named Marcy in his memoir.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Or he could have just been naming.
I don't know.
I didn't get
I just
that
learned
far.
who
It
Kim
sounded
Upshur
good.
was.
Sounded nice there.
Yeah.
Right.
So
We
she's
have
still around. She'd
cleared
be like,
that up.
she could be like, listen to this song that was written for me.
When
All
you
right.
think about it, he writes some pretty disrespectful
I know.
for women.
Kind of poor Marsha, right?
Poor Marsha.
Yeah.
I just learned who Kim Upshur is, so now I got to do some research on who Marsha
Oh.
is.
Who is she?
Kim Upshur was in Purple Rain. She was the
The
waitress
other
who
waitress.
brought Morris the bottle of wine, the champagne.
Oh.
Okay. Okay.
And she had been
okay.
his girlfriend in high school. And there, you know, I have a lot of research on that here. That he, you know, she was the cheerleader that he couldn't get at first,
Mhm.
and then eventually he got her after he graduated from high school. And they were very close friends up until she died.
Oh,
She died in
Yeah.
she died in November of 2015.
From anybody.
And he
know?
was very depressed about that.
Yeah, because it was very close to when Vanity passed away. So
Yep, and then Vanity passed away, and then he did, and but he was very close
How
to
did
Kim
Vanity
Upshur.
die?
That was really his first love, and she was there with him through the end of 1999.
okay.
I mean,
she and
on record, and then after Purple Rain, she was there probably through the middle of Around the World in a Day, but she left around that time.
Okay.
How did
around
Vanity
85,
die?
86.
She had a lot of health issues. I think she was on dialysis for like 20 years.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. And then
Marble
how did
crack.
Kim Upshur die?
yeah, and
Am I
Kim
saying
and
her name
Susan.
wrong?
Kim and Susan are the two girls that are talking during Wild and Loose about the great time they had at the Time concert.
Oh,
Right.
okay. Does
Yeah.
anyone know how Kim
How
died?
did Kim die?
Brain aneurysm.
aneurysm, yeah.
Oh, damn.
Jeez.
That's
Terrible.
that's one of my big fears. Like,
I know.
And Prince actually went to her. He didn't go to his parents, memorial service. He didn't go to his brother and sister, but he went to hers. He went to Kim's.
Really?
wow.
Yeah, Kim's daughter did an interview, and she said that he was there at the service with the family. They had a private
That's
service,
nice.
and he also paid for
The funeral.
the funeral. Yeah, and she,
Wow, that was nice.
he told his daughter,
Classy
anything you need,
Prince.
let me know. But she was very important part of his life, because you got to remember, at this time he's seeing Susan Mooney, Jill Jones, he's seeing Vanity, he's
Yep.
seeing Kim Upshur, so that's already a mess.
Yes.
And you know what I
So
love?
here's hoping Marsha's still out there kicking around somewhere.
Yeah, and then there were the ones that we don't know about, right? Because they weren't in the spotlight.
And you know what I love
Marsha's-
about all that is that Brenda Bennett's like, I'm not having any part of that mess.
Mm.
Yeah.
So like, I'm not fucking with this.
She was
Right.
married.
Yeah, she was married to Roy.
She was married to Roy, but it's strange, because how did he get this album done with all these women?
I
We get to the
know.
song, because we get to the song "Free," and there most of them are together.
I know. They're all
It's
together.
like, how did he do that? It's like when people say that he had a harem,
Yeah.
they're basically right. It's like everybody knew, but they stayed.
Yeah.
I bet he did each vocal track separate and then just mixed them together in the studio.
Was
No,
there
actually-
animosity though between the women? I mean,
Well,
were
no,
there
actually,
troubles?
at one time he had Jill and Susanna record the background vocals for "Good Love"
Right.
together. So I
Yeah.
doubt that he did them separately. And
Can't imagine that they didn't all know. You
Yeah.
know, like he
no,
was.
they all
right?
knew,
Yeah.
because like
Yes. I think it was an understanding between
Yeah.
them.
Right. If
I
they
mean, like-
wanted to be in his life, this is how
Yeah.
it was going to be. You know.
yeah.
You know, I'm picturing
he was such a spirit that they wanted to be around.
Absolutely.
I'm picturing Marsha working late shift at a Waffle House somewhere. And she's constantly telling people, "Hey, I have Prince stories." And they're like, "Yeah, you know what? Just get the
Whatever,
heck out."
Marsha.
You know,
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah. Oh, that's crazy, Marsha. Yeah.
She wants to play it on the jukebox, but they can't have that song on the jukebox.
Right. Right. No Prince allowed in there.
There's a thread on org, Prince.org, and these and there are people who tell their intimate Prince stories.
Ooh.
There's a thread about
Oh,
the intimate
intimate.
Prince stories,
Aisha.
and I'm like, okay.
I'm going to read that.
See, I don't want to know
Okay.
that. I don't.
Yeah,
want
me
I
either.
was like, it's like, why do you want to tell everybody that you did this?
Well, and all, like there's no verification process either.
Exactly.
So,
Right.
right. I'm going to go on there and tell my Prince story. It feels like anyone can do that, but
yeah, it's
but good
it's
for
crazy.
them.
It's crazy.
Good for,
Marsha.
right. Can we do a search? Can we search it for a Marsha? See if one comes up. Marsha from Waffle.
I'm gonna be like, I met Prince one night driving down US 19.
Yeah.
Well,
At a
who's not
storage
shy about
facility.
telling anything
Right.
is Robin Power.
Oh,
Oh, who's she? Who's she?
From Graffiti Bridge. She
Okay.
was Morris's girlfriend.
Mm.
But she talks about her relationship with Prince a lot.
Oh, were they together?
Yes.
Yeah.
Or-
Like a minute, right?
Okay.
Yeah, and gets very deep.
Behind the dumpster.
That's
At the
Gloff
same
album.
time as the other women that Jill and all of them.
Right.
Susanna.
Wait, was she with her boyfriend at the time too? Or
She didn't
You
have,
said-
Robin didn't
I
have a
thought you said
boyfriend.
that she was with
No, she played Morris's girlfriend in the film.
Oh gosh,
In the
okay,
film, yeah.
sorry, yes. Let's edit that out, all right?
I was
Like, what?
confused.
That was really confusing for me. My apologies.
So yeah, she talks a lot about their little escapades.
So she got years of traction out of like a month-long thing that
Good
happened.
for her.
Like, milk it, baby.
Milk it for what you can.
We're milking it for this
girl.
podcast, so. All right. Any thoughts on Let's Pretend We're Married before we move on?
Filthy, and I love it.
Filthy as
Love
Yet
it.
again, another song I listened to with headphones when I was
Yeah.
11.
Yes.
No
Right, so-
headphones.
I love it, Melissa. I
When I
love
was at
it.
when I was at the record store, I was looking at the track list album, like, what is GMSR?
Oh, right.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
And the first issue of the CD did not have the song on it because it was when CDs first came out. They couldn't fit everything on one CD. So
Oh.
just for the record, one year for Christmas, my mom gave me all the Prince CDs, and me and Ann went over to our friend Greg's house Christmas and listened to all my Prince CDs.
Yes.
So this was one of them right here, 1999, with DMSR on it.
Ooh.
So dance music,
It was
sex,
perfect
romance.
for the occasion too,
Yeah.
wasn't it, Gloff?
Let's not talk about. Boy, this
No.
album's sure bringing up some memories, isn't it?
It sure is.
It is.
So this one was under a Christmas tree. Okay, moving on. Dance music, sex, romance. What do you all think
Oh
of this song?
yeah.
Love this
Love it.
song.
It's my absolute favorite on this album.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. I do like it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's definitely
Great dance song.
A great dance song.
Yeah. it
And
is.
the big again we see his signature scream in there.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's a little surprising. This is one of the ones he brought back for like the 2004 the Musicology tour,
Okay.
which
Mhm.
was one of the tour highlights. One of the best songs during that tour. Like
Yeah,
a
and
10-minute workout. Yeah, it's great.
it also came back in the remix for Love Sign.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And it pops up in the Tom Cruise film Risky Business at a party scene. Their songs playing in the background.
So he did this on Musicology tour. He didn't change it to
think I
dance
remember
music,
that.
spirituality, romance, did he?
No, no.
Okay.
That's why
No.
I saw him on the musicology tour. He
Thankfully.
didn't change it.
Thank God. No pun intended.
Yeah.
This is a party workout.
It
Yeah.
is. It is such a. I mean, you can put this on, and except for the ballad, you can just dance your ass off.
You would expect everybody to hit the dance floor
Yes.
when this song
Yeah.
came on.
But
Yeah,
then
it's
in the
irresistible.
middle of it, he's self-depreciating because he says Jamie
Jamie
Starr's
Starr's
a thief.
That's
Yeah.
my favorite
Yeah,
part of the
what's
song.
that all
That's
about?
my
What's
favorite
that?
part. That's my favorite part of the song. That whole little thing.
What is that? What's going on there?
Well, Jamie Starr is the other name that he used to write
His
songs
alter
under.
ego.
Oh, okay. All right.
So like
So
the
he-
Time albums were produced by Jamie Starr, but it was really Prince.
Yeah.
Got
So
it.
it says Jamie Starr's a thief, and he recognizes the time by saying it's time to fix
It's
your
time
clock.
to fix your clock.
Okay.
And
he says-
Vanity 6 is so
So
sweet. I love that.
I do
I
too.
love
Any,
that part.
any Vanity
Yeah, a little
Six-
bit of world building. Yeah,
Mhm.
Yes. Yeah.
It's like, this is my crew.
yeah.
What a crew too. You know what I mean?
Well, and then he shouts out every racial identity too during the breakdown toward the end too. So everybody gets a little moment in the sun, and you know, I always thought it was funny when he mentioned white people, and then he had to count
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4. Like, we know how to count, Prince. All right, we're doing okay. We're fine.
Not all of
He's
us.
saying clap on the 2 and 4, not the 1 and 3.
I remember once I went to Natalie Merchant concert and all the white people were clapping on 1 and 3, and she stopped the song and she's like, "No."
Oh my God, you're kidding.
Oh, you know she
The
did.
worst.
Who was it?
She's terrible.
Natalie Merchant.
Natalie Merchant. She's from our area as well.
I love her, but she is.
I know. She's great. She's a good musician, but yeah. You don't stop a song and then admonish people that they're clapping wrong.
She did.
What a megalomaniac.
It's kind of dead wrong.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Well, I don't have too much to say about this song other than it's like a fucking banger of the ultimate banger of all time.
Yes.
Yeah, it really hits. It's like it comes it also feels like it comes out of nowhere because he's had all these other funk dance songs, but this one is just like that next level.
Yeah.
This one
Very
this
intentional.
One is, this one is where you start to hear his influence, the influence of the Parliament Funkadelic on his writing.
Yeah.
I can see from this song he kind of when he grew from this song, he grew into Erotic City.
Yeah.
And I like how he throws in little tiny keyboard flourishes throughout that it kind of just changes it enough where like he almost had the impression that people are going to think, oh, this is just a loop of the same synth line over and over again. So he throws little hiccups in there here and there just so you know that it's not.
Yeah.
I gotta believe
He's
Matt
playing.
loved playing this.
I like his little breakdown of his little poem in the middle. I don't want to be a poet.
Yeah.
I don't want to blow it. He already talked about he didn't want to win awards. He was all about the music. He's not about the awards.
Melissa, did you see where he referenced that at an award ceremony a couple years later at some Minnesota journalist gathering? I think. I
don't recall it. No.
Well,
the Minnesota Music Awards. I saw that.
He said a few years ago, I wrote a song where I said I don't want to win awards, but it was easy because I wasn't up for any.
Oh,
I remember that.
Oh, he's so cute.
now I do have a
No,
nice.
but that's. I'm sorry.
86, I think. I don't know. He
86.
looks like he's in Cherry Moon, under the Cherry Moon mode.
Oh, okay.
With his
I'll
Demi
see if I can find the
Lovato
video.
haircut.
Yay!
It's also interesting though because at that point he was already like, I don't care if they play me on the radio.
Yeah.
But this song used to be played on our local radio stations.
It's a great song.
I had to go and stop the video.
Sorry.
Where did he go?
He has to compose himself. I'm sorry.
I didn't even hear what you said.
It wasn't nice.
Oh.
She said that Prince had a Demi Lovato haircut under the Cherry Moon.
It was real close cropped, right? I mean, he'd look sexy as hell.
It was a good haircut.
It was better on Prince than Demi Lovato.
Yes.
Okay, I have a nice memory of DMSR that I'm going to share.
Ooh.
Clark and myself are in the VIP section
Ooh.
of Danielle Vasquez's Purple Party with Jill Jones, and the song came on. And I was just sitting next to Jill. I'm like, I'm sitting next to Jill Jones singing DMSR. And I put Facebook Live and let everybody see.
Wow, that is a cool.
He did.
We had a good time,
cool.
though. We had a good time.
That was
And
surreal.
the music was on
very
point that
surreal.
night.
Yeah, what a night. My God.
Remember they played Jill's B-side, Baby Cries, It was so much fun.
God. Was it a good song? Is that a good song?
It's a wild.
It's a song.
Yeah. I love it, but it's wild.
Yeah.
I liked Jill, and so when we went up there, my expectation was like, oh, well, maybe Jeremy will introduce me to her. I'll get to say hi and get a picture with her.
Yes.
And we hung out, and then she did my favorite Jill Jones song live. I mean, it couldn't have been any
that's
better.
awesome, Clark.
I saw you guys. You're up in your VIP section. I was in the piano.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, it was awesome.
They wouldn't let you in, Melissa?
No, I didn't know him then.
I'm sorry.
Okay. All right. Well, that's fair enough.
I couldn't make out anyone's faces.
I thought
down
they
there.
knew you, and they were like, ha, 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 ha.
Well, we met that night.
No way,
Jeremy and I
fun.
Jeremy and I got recruited into working the event because Danielle wound up performing, so Jeremy had to fill in as the MC.
Yeah, I was the MC.
Who's
And then-
Danielle anyway?
Danielle
And then Jill was,
Our friend.
yeah.
and then Jill was posing for pictures and signing autographs, and they hadn't had anybody set up the autograph table.
Yeah.
But I have years of experience working in sports and entertainment. I'm like, I know how to handle an autograph line.
Nice.
So,
Mark, you were
yeah,
a
we
hero.
We earned our money that night.
We were backup dancing with Jill that night. You guys weren't on the floor backup dancing, were you?
No, I had to
I
videotape on her
no.
phone. I was taping on her phone.
Oh, okay.
Uh,
Yeah, we were part of the backup dancers.
That was the same night I tried to pick up a hitchhiker down the street.
What?
Oh
Yeah,
my gosh.
yeah.
Mark, did you intervene?
No, once again, I'm the hero in that I didn't allow that to happen.
Oh, thank you, Clark.
So-
Thank you.
Any thoughts on DMSR before? He was
It
hot.
doesn't sound like Jeremy is thanking you.
He
The
kept taking the
background.
wrong turns and like,
Yeah.
oh look, we're going by the hitchhiker again. I'm like, this is not an accident, dude. Stay on the road and keep going.
Listen,
straight.
the
Literally.
whole reason I'm so nasty is because these Prince albums. It put something in me that it's still.
I understand, son.
When we were
the
driving by
background
that.
vocals on this song are great.
Oh my God, so good.
I love how you brought us back.
Yeah, thanks for bringing us back.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was so necessary.
I drove by the hitchhiker. I'm like, hey, Marsha.
Yeah.
Yes.
Who sings backup on this? A lot of the crew's in there, right? Let's take a
yeah.
look.
Who screams at the very end? Is that Lisa?
I think so. I believe so.
That's calling for the police?
Yeah, I believe that's Lisa.
Okay. Background vocals and hand claps. Lisa, Jamie, who is Prince. Who's Carol?
Carol.
Marsh's friend.
Okay. Peggy.
Peggy's
Who are these people?
Peggy McCreary, right? That'd be Peggy McCreary,
Yeah.
engineer. Yeah.
Okay. Brown Mark, who would later be in the Revolution.
Yeah.
And then Poochie and the Count.
No telling.
No telling who.
Must have been an inside joke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Joe
Well,
would
are
know
there
who
any
they are.
animals on the? Are there any animals? Animal noises?
Yeah. Ow.
Right. So maybe
All
that's
right.
it.
I feel like I've made a complete fool of myself this podcast.
You
I don't
have
care.
not.
I
You
don't
are
care.
fucking hilarious.
I do not care. Okay, are we taking a break before side 2 or just going side 3 or going into it? Do you guys
I
need a
could
break?
use a break, honestly, because I have to
Okay.
pee and I need another water.
Let's take
Yeah,
a 5 minute. All right, everybody, we're back to talk about side 3 and side 4 of Prince's 5th album from 1982.
Crazy.
1982, 1999. Things are about to get funky here. A drum beat kicks in, a funky ass synth line comes in, and someone has to take it from here because I'm speechless. This
I
is
don't
a
know
funky
what
ass
song.
song. Automatic.
Oh,
You don't
okay,
know it?
Yes. No, I just didn't know what we were talking about.
Oh, okay.
Automatic. Take it away, somebody.
Automatic.
So it's Jill Jones and Lisa on the vocals,
Yeah.
correct?
Yeah.
There's a video that was made for the song that's very sexy and very grainy on YouTube, correct?
There's two versions of the video.
Oh,
One cuts the song before that part, and then the other one is the long version.
Oh.
so this was a single?
Yeah, Automatic was a single in other countries.
Okay,
Yes, that makes more sense.
yeah. I love this song.
I
Yeah.
do too.
Yeah.
I do too.
This is where Prince really, he had the 4 sides of the vinyl to kind of expand. And a lot of these songs really go into these extended jams. This song's
Yes. Yes. I mean, this is where it's almost like the first album were like more radio friendly, within the parameters of good taste, of course. But
long. Right.
then the second, album really is what I would expect to hear at the tight spot or anything,
Right.
it's just full on the 9-inch or 12-inch versions.
Yeah.
Dance songs.
This song is 9 minutes and 24 seconds.
Yeah, what he's doing here is reminiscent of some of what James Brown did. James Brown used to do part 1 and part 2 of songs so that they could be a single. So you have part 1 of the song, the first 3 minutes on one side, you flip to the B side,
Okay.
and it's the last 7 minutes, So I I think I see that in him with the making the songs extended. And so that's why he needed a double album.
And I feel like every second counted in these. It wasn't, some people felt Lana Del Rey's Venice Bitch went on too long at 9-ish minutes. I disagree. But I feel like in Automatic, you cannot dispute that every second counts.
Yeah.
This was before I knew what nightclubs were, and this is what I imagined what it sounded like in nightclubs.
Yeah. Yep.
And it did. This is what nightclubs sounded like.
Mm-hmm. And sweaty bodies.
Yeah.
Yes.
Very dark, industrial. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you want it to be dark, but yes.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I'm surprised the song doesn't get more play now, like at parties and stuff.
Mm.
Well, it's kind of buried. It's kind of an album cut in America, at least, So, how many people today pick up and listen to all of 1999?
I know.
Didn't own it before. So,
right.
Yeah.
Next time I DJ, I'm playing this all 9 minutes.
Excellent. Good.
Hey.
I have a lot of young friends in their 20s who are like, they'll come to me and go like, I had no idea Prince was so good. Like and it's very exciting to help them discover this stuff. So
you're like, we've been trying to tell you.
Right.
Yeah.
You youngins.
Yeah, you chumps.
In the video, I like the fact that he's very androgynous. When you before the lights come up, you kind of think this is a woman.
Right.
And then the lights come up and it's him, and he's wearing Jill Jones's hat.
Yep.
And so it just, he kind of plays with that, and he plays with the bondage.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And he just makes it so interesting. And the fact is, I learned that in some places they played the video at like 11 o'clock at night on some of those video shows.
Right.
It was like one of those, after prime time.
Right.
Yeah.
See, I never saw this video back in the day. They never played it anywhere I was. I didn't see it till YouTube.
I don't remember. I think they did play it, but the Friday night videos was always 11 to like 2 a.m. or 1 or 2 a.m. in the morning. So it was always late.
Because remember, like when people get popular on MTV, they play a lot of their back catalog, like even the songs that weren't hits.
Yeah.
They never did that with this video, in my recollection.
Well, there was a time when they didn't make a video for every song either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, yeah.
They just targeted certain stuff they knew was going to be a single.
Yeah.
It seems like all these videos, though, were shot at one time.
Yeah, they all have a similar look, for
They
sure.
all have a similar look. He's wearing pretty much the same thing. And, yeah.
And it's just their concert stage.
Yeah.
So,
They're very simple.
yeah. What's the significance? Does anybody know of the, he used to like to slide down the pole in the middle of shows.
Who doesn't?
And it was like it wasn't just like a straight pole. It was like a curved on top thing it had a very unique look for it. And it was kind of a part of his set throughout his whole career. And I didn't know if
And he just would enter on it, or?
Yeah, well, he'd go up and down between levels and stuff. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, well, yes, I remember that. Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
That was a strong visual, I feel like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was strong.
Yeah, he had that dual set where he had the bed and the shades and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And then, yeah.
Yeah. I feel like it showcased, his strength and his gracefulness, and, that he just was so energetic and such a good dancer, and, and what a great fast way to get between,
Yeah.
And not only that, it's like that with, having the bed there on stage and everything. It's like he's sending the message. This is a sex album.
Right.
If you're not having sex, listening to this album, you need to go home.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So Prince was like a sexy fireman.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. I think you're being redundant.
More like a pole dancer.
A little bit of both.
Yeah. Because he really worked that pole.
He worked
He
that pole.
sure did work that pole.
He worked the pole, the microphone
Mhm.
stand,
Mhm.
guitar.
Melissa, do you need to cool off right now?
Tell us more, Melissa.
Now,
Dan brought it up.
did he allow Vanity on the pole?
I'd like him to bring it up. Well, not now, but you know.
No one was allowed on the pole but Prince, were they? I never saw.
Yeah.
I don't think so. Yeah, I think that was his poll.
That was
Yeah.
it. Everyone knew
Because
not to touch
he did
Prince's
the same.
pole.
Yeah, he did the same thing during the Purple Rain tour.
Right.
He
Yeah.
had that pole, so he get to the next level where the bathtub was and the shower and all that stuff.
Yeah,
And
it
the
was
time.
his special thing.
So when they went on tour, there had to be somebody like a linen coordinator that had to make the bed every
Brenda
night
Bennett.
and make sure the pillows were up on top of the speakers when he would go up on the speakers and pretend to lay down and take a nap up there. And there was
Wasn't
somebody's
Brenda-
job who's just
There
That
was
would be a
someone-
fun
yes.
job.
I know.
I'm a stagehand, and I kind of
Mm.
did those things. Like I set up dresser rooms for them, and
That's
the kids
awesome,
and stuff.
Melissa.
And so that would have been a fun job.
Yeah, I don't think anyone would have complained.
Wasn't Brenda his wardrobe mistress? But I guess by this time she was in Vandy 6, so she's not.
Yeah,
gonna
but
be,
at one time
Right.
she was. Yeah.
yeah. All right. Well, any thoughts on Automatic before we move on?
Great opening to this
Love it.
second album.
What about when they're talking at the end? They turn to like Android, like
Yeah.
we're going
Yeah.
to torture.
I can
you
do without
now."
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was kind of weird, but
Mhm.
I like that.
I like it.
I like the
Yeah.
ending of the song. The ending of just those keyboards
Yeah.
playing the chords. I love the way that ends.
And then how it goes into the next song. Like there's definitely
Yeah.
a vibe set up here.
well, yeah, he was saying fasten your seatbelts, prepare for takeoff. So
Mhm.
getting ready to.
Things are about to get funky. Yeah.
I feel like it was very continental and or castle here in Tampa. Depends on what Gothic club.
Continental.
Yeah, continental. Okay, the
Airline?
next
No,
song.
Club.
It was this
Sorry.
Gothic club in Buffalo. But I feel like they would have played the Android voices section
Yeah.
of Automatic.
Yeah, I didn't mind the Android voices. I didn't care for the crying though.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
so weird.
Who does?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
weird.
That's why I wish Jill was here because she could tell us like what's up with the crying.
Yes. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Or
crying
Jeffrey.
and moaning and
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Doesn't Jill
Well-
have a?
The sex is so good it makes you cry.
Well, that's what I'm wondering because then they're androids, so they wouldn't actually have these emotions, and so these, maybe they're pretending to have these emotions.
Or maybe Prince told all the girls about each other and then had the microphone on.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, hasn't-
a very
hasn't-
Kardashian
He
moment.
acts out a threesome in the video though.
Right.
All right, Melissa's gonna.
I was just reading some lyrics. I don't think I ever realized he said
read
this.
them aloud, please.
Yeah.
Don't say no man has ever tasted your ice cream.
Mhm.
I'm gonna start calling.
I've read these.
Never heard
Yeah.
that.
Although I don't want to put dairy in there, but anyway, yeah, keep going.
Hasn't Jill mentioned something that she had a problem with always being depicted as crying?
Yes.
Like-
Ooh.
Yeah,
So she
did-
cries
has
in
said
Purple Rain, and she's depicted crying on the Around the World in a Day
Yeah.
cover. And
Yep.
yeah,
that. Yeah,
Like,
he
I'm always
has
damn
time.
crying.
yeah. All
All right.
Where's Jill?
I know we need her for this discussion. I text her. She didn't text me back. All right. Next song.
I should
Weird-
text her.
Yeah, text
Yes,
her. Tell her we have
Aisha,
questions.
You should.
We have
We have
questions.
questions.
Yeah, we want to know
They're
about Martha.
monumental.
We have questions. She's gonna be like, "Oh, they're driving me damn crazy."
You're
with this."
right.
Gonna be
right,
like-
right. I'm not giving you the answers.
Find
Okay.
her.
The next
On
song.
her social media, she's rescuing kitty cats these days. So
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
She's busy.
Yeah.
The next song is a nice, bright little ditty called "Something in the Water Does Not Compute." This is a weird ass.
This is a weird ass song.
There's Melissa. That screaming's there that you love.
Yeah,
Yes.
it is.
Yeah, I
This
do
is-
love it screaming as well. It's
This is
so
one of Prince's
sexy.
darker songs. This song is dark.
Yeah, it's pretty dark.
It's emotional and sexy though too.
Oh, I need to hear it now.
Dee
I
doo
have
doo 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 doo.
Thank you, Clark.
Some
Oh,
people-
now I'm. Yeah, that's perfect.
Some people say he's got great legs. I don't understand why you make me beg.
Mm-hmm.
And on the deluxe edition in 1999, isn't there a different version of the song? It was a little bit different the way he originally recorded it.
I think so. Yeah.
It got to be more synthy in the version we ultimately was released. I like the one he
the super deluxe. The super deluxe one.
Yep.
Oh wow, there's a lot of shit on here. Oh, thank you.
I'm such a slow texter, right?
Oh.
Yeah, it's a cool, interesting song.
This is like a computerist vibe, like a.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any other song in Prince's discography that could even compare to this one? I feel like this is kind of an outlier.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, I see it as a total relation to Computer Blue.
Oh, okay, I guess I can see that.
Yeah, I think that I like this song because it tells a lot about him.
Okay.
And how he views women. It's kind of like he has a woman here, but there's part of her that's still unattainable.
Mm-hmm.
And he really wants to get that part. But the problem is that the not computing part is the non-communication between them, and that seems to manifest when you look at the situation that he was already in.
Yeah,
he wasn't having the kind of communication that he needed to have with each woman in order to really, dive deep into a committed relationship.
Who's got time for communication when you're dating 5 women, though, right?
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
No?
But the thing is that he was looking for something, but not realizing that you can't be dating this amount of women in order to find this thing that you need in one.
Now, I feel Prince's
and when this came out in '82, computers were still kind of like an element of science fiction, really.
Right.
Yeah.
They weren't a mainstream thing. So.
Yeah.
I feel like in some of Prince's older songs, he had his sad moments. I feel like this is the first time he's like tortured. Like he's angsty.
It's like, why are you making me beg?
Yeah.
Yeah, this to me seems like he's like used to getting all the women, and all of a sudden this one girl was like, no, and he's like, what is going on?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, welcome to reality.
It's unsettling. It's unsettling, Tim. Do we feel that this fits? Do we all feel that this song fits on this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I do. Yeah. I don't know where else it would fit.
Yeah, and I think he tells a lot.
That's what she said.
Yeah, I think it tells a lot about his childhood too. Because remember, he was this awkward kid who couldn't get a girl, and so this he knows that emotion.
He's not awkward anymore.
Right, but he knows that emotion, and he put that into it.
Right.
One of the things that I was told by I won't name the person, but I was told that he used to have he would see women in magazines, or he'd see women at shows, and he wouldn't talk to them. He'd send someone to say, Prince would like to go on a date with you. And that was how he got in touch with women. And so I think that a lot of that.
Isn't that how it's normally done? Are you saying
that's
normalized?
Well, no,
it's not, hey, what's up?
Yeah.
Hey, you up?
It's very middle school, because think about it. It's like,
it totally is.
So and so likes you. Okay, that that's how you connect in middle school. But I think that he brings that emotion that just, I can't talk. I don't know how to communicate, but I want to in this song. It's really a tortured element of, I think, side of him that really existed.
I like when he did this version of the song in the 2015 concerts. It was just more of like, even with the computer vibe, but it was more of like a space kind of thing where he drew it out with the guitar. It was amazing.
Huh.
You'll have to go. I'll have to see if I can find a link and put it in the chat.
Yeah, I remember the first time I heard this song, it caught my ear because it's so weird. And I love it. I love that. I love that Prince had some monster mainstream singles on this album, some extended dance jams, some weird ass artsy moments. Like this album covers a lot of ground.
Yeah, it makes it kind of cool that like this guy can do these songs that you listen to him and like, oh, everybody's gonna love these songs, and then he's not afraid to go weird,
right?
On his own
Never,
record,
right?
You know?
Yeah,
but he
I
had
love
such
that.
freedom. I mean, he had an entire double album that he could branch out and be weird and do whatever.
and remember he had to fight for it too,
Right?
to do the double album. So he really just did the damn thing. That's
Well,
he did the damn fucking
and
thing.
with the
Yes, he
albums, he
did.
liked to put all the music that went together. So if he thought that all of this went together, that would, make him fight to like get the double album, because I can't separate it. These are my they're like his
wasn't
children.
meant to be.
Yeah.
Yes. Adopt them all together.
Yes, they must go together.
Which is
But
interesting.
you can easily picture some guy in a suit in Los Angeles saying, "Yeah, you can have your weird stuff, but there better be some monster singles on here." So thank goodness for good thing for that. Yeah.
No,
It's interesting that they're right there. I'm sorry, Jeremy, that they're right there, the first three.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, that's really intriguing placement. But Jeremy, what were you going to say?
I will say for Record Store Day a couple of years ago, they reissued the single disc version of 1999.
Ooh, turning back around. Let's see. Is he wearing a pink coat? Oh my God.
Purple, right?
Too much. It's probably purple.
what single is it that I have? It's a 45. I can't find it because we moved like a month and a half ago, and we still haven't unpacked all my print stuff. But there's a 45. I think it is Delirious, that opens up into a calendar.
Oh wow!
It has the picture of him laying on the bed.
Melissa's like, yep,
the poster.
I have a
And
45.
it's 45.
I have the Let's Pretend We're Married 12 inch.
Oh, come on. Turn that back around one more time. So, come on. This is one eye.
I love that hairdo for him. He
Me
should have
too.
Me
kept it
too.
longer.
Yep.
I like that haircut.
Forever.
I like the parade era haircuts. When he got to that whole thing where he had the tornado looking thing and the finger waves.
See, my friends just didn't like that either. I liked it.
I can't do the finger waves.
Not the finger waves, but I like the hair
The
up.
pompadour.
I
like the pompadour too.
My favorite was Graffiti Bridge.
Oh, that's my least favorite.
Wait, what did it look like at Graffiti Bridge?
Yeah,
straight hair about here.
Oh, yes.
I would have my hair cut like
agree.
that all the time.
Oh, no. I did not like when he did his blowouts, and I did not like when he had that. I don't even know. I don't even have a negative thing to say about it that would solidify it in my head. I just
he had hair extensions at that time.
Oh, he did?
Yes. If and I know for a fact he did, but Jill and I had this conversation. But they have the team that worked Graffiti Bridge. I forget what they're called, but that's all they do is customized extensions, and they're excellent. They're excellent at what they do.
Sure.
So, but I didn't like when I guess he started. There was one period where he had like bangs, and it was the pompadour. Then he had the finger waves on the side, and I'm like, pick a haircut.
Right. What are you doing, man?
Pick one.
Yeah. Right.
And
choose a personality.
I didn't like the pixie cut either.
We can have a whole discussion on his hair.
We will.
Absolutely.
Well,
that's true. Sorry.
Speaking of visual elements, did this album have a poster, or am I just remembering that the inner sleeves had photos on them?
The inner sleeves.
No, I had the one with him on the bed, right?
Yeah,
that was on the inner sleeve.
That wasn't a poster though, right? That was just a sleeve.
I had a poster because my mom tore it down.
No.
And I remember distinctly, she threw it away.
Why? Why, Melissa? Was she mad at you? Were you guys fighting?
She didn't like Prince.
So Aisha's poster from Controversy was on the back of her bedroom door, from what I remember.
And my dad took it.
Yeah, your dad took it. Your mom took the 1999
there's a theme
poster.
here. Yeah, there's a theme.
But wasn't there a photo of the band as part of this package?
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
Ooh.
No, I remember.
Does anyone have that?
The sexy one. had a poster of that.
I'll go look.
Him laying on the bed. I had a fold out poster.
Of this?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Above my bed.
Did you
I
get
have
it in a
seen that
magazine?
as a
Did you get it in a
poster. I have
magazine?
seen
I've
that.
seen it in a
Maybe.
magazine.
It might have been
Yeah.
from a magazine, yeah.
Because I have a
Yes.
magazine with it as a poster.
Okay.
Nice.
That's what she took.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well,
Unforgivable, Melissa.
Eventually my
obviously.
parents-
Yeah, right?
eventually my parents took the cover of Love Sexy from me too.
Oh, my ex-husband got rid of that CD for me. My
What?
first ex-husband. I
I mean,
had that
surely
album.
he knew
Like,
he
nope.
could never compete. How ridiculous. No mortal man.
I was like,
can.
sign here, divorce. No, I'm just kidding.
Yes, right. Well, that was
Well, you know,
yeah.
That's not why, but
look, whoever gets with
It's
me is
a
going to
good
have to
reason
deal
to
with
tell
the
people.
5'3" Prince that I have standing in the corner.
You're like,
You have a
Prince-
life-size Prince?
Mm-hmm.
I need proof.
can you-
Yeah.
Amaya?
Oh my god, I'm so excited.
Seen them. I have a
Maya.
life-size Michael Jackson, but that's for my son.
Maya.
He likes-
you're like, bring Prince over.
Yes, why hasn't he been
Can you
here
bring
the
Prince over?
entire
Oh,
time?
He should have been over her shoulder.
Yes! Glaring at us. Oh, is he sexy? Oh, I can't wait to see what his face
I
is.
can't wait to get the next one. I saw another one
Oh,
that I want to get.
There are
But
multiples.
yeah, there's
Need
many
one
of them.
these.
Yeah,
I need one of these.
different ones.
Well, I want one of Divine first, and then I'll get one of Prince.
oh,
What? Let's
Can't
see
see
that face. Let's see that face.
Ooh.
Oh,
I
he's
like
got those
that.
damn finger curls, though. But he's still sexy.
Oh, I love it.
So, yeah.
Mm.
Somebody sent
That
this
is
to me.
adorable.
Somebody sent this
Aisha.
to me because they know I love Prince, so they got me
Yes.
the.
I'd lay that
Standing
on
one.
top of me in my bed.
Yes,
Cardboard.
that is a very good, a good thing to have. That's a good.
It's in my living room. It's so funny is that I woke up, I fell asleep in my recliner, and I woke up and I'm like, oh my god, there's somebody in the room.
It's a
What did
very
I do?
short intruder.
Yeah, I'm like, oh my god, there's somebody in the room, and it took me a minute to realize that's Prince in the corner.
He's not
I found the band photo and put it in chat.
Okay.
And bonus, it's got the poll.
Oh, the pole.
Yes!
That's right. I've seen that before.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah.
see.
Yeah.
It's got the poll.
Was the
Poll
pole
is still
called
there in
Poochie?
Sign of the Times, too.
Nice.
Was the pole Poochie? That's Poochie in the couch.
That'd be Polchi.
Maybe.
Poochie.
Poochie. Wait, where's the picture? Do I have to keep scrolling?
It's in the.
You put it in the chat. Not the chat.
I'm in it. I'm on it. I'm on it. Maybe not. Maybe I'm not on it.
In this
Just
chat.
looked at it. Yeah, I'm on it. but
Should be the
I
last
see-
thing in there.
Oh, is it the last picture on that?
It's in the
It's a
Zoom
link.
chat, not the Facebook one.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
Zoom
yeah.
chat.
Yeah, where we are right now. I know.
Okay.
I'm on it.
Dan's like, I know.
I'm like, I know, motherfuckers.
And that's that jacket he has on was just like the beginning of the one for Purple Rain.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big fan of
Evolution
those
of the
jackets.
jacket.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only difference is that really that the Purple Rain jacket was more purple.
Right.
Yeah, that one seems to be more metallic looking.
Yeah, and he took
It's
off
shiny.
the rude boy. He took off the rude boy button.
Yeah.
Okay.
Purple Rain. And
So did it start off? The trench coat started off green during Dirty Mind, right? Then got kind of like pinkish
Was
for
it?
controversy. Wasn't there like a green version of the trench coat around Dirty Mind?
like a
I don't
grayish
see the
khaki
picture.
kind of.
Grayish?
Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
disappointed.
It definitely looked more off the rack than this
Yeah.
era.
It was,
Yeah.
it was very. It was, I think it was like khaki, and
Okay.
then he moved toward the light lavender
The
color
lavender for
for
controversy.
controversy, and then it got flashy during this era,
99.
1999.
Yeah.
And then at Purple Rain, it was the pinnacle. He really finally got to, okay, these are the pants I want to wear. No, I'm not going to wear the jeans anymore.
Mhm.
And this is the shirt I
I
want.
just
I'm
can't
going
even
to.
imagine.
I'm going to. Before he had the ruffles open. Now I'm going to ruffle up. I'm really going to get into this Edwardian kind of style.
And then Parade, he went back to the plain trench coat.
Oh, yeah.
And then Sign of the Times, he went to the leather trench coat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He likes
It's the history of trench coats.
Yeah, he liked trench coats. They make
But
him look
those were
taller.
popular. Those were pretty popular
They were.
in the 80s.
I don't
In
think
the
the
90s.
metallic purple ones were, but yes, they were.
But the full trench was, yeah.
Yeah,
I wore trench coats in high school.
absolutely.
The 90s.
They were very
Well-
goth and yeah.
With
Well, he would kind of whip it around like a superhero's cape too. Like, and didn't he have like a superhero fixation a little bit?
Well, he did
Well,
do that
It
Batman.
was like
yeah,
that,
really
that
into
Napoleon complex manifests that way.
Yeah.
Fun fact:
During
Napoleon wasn't actually that short. He was like 5'8", which was normal for men back then.
All right, so we've covered Prince's hairstyles, his trench coats, and Something in the Water Does Not Compute. Any thoughts on this song before we move on? All right, up next we have every girl that Prince was sleeping with singing background vocals in a very lovely song about liberation and a utopian society. The first ballad of the album, a lovely little song called Free.
Yeah.
Is this our first time with the falsetto on the album?
That's what I was wondering too, Jeremy.
I
Yeah.
think so. Yeah, I think you're right.
So
Yep.
Well, let's pretend we're married. He starts off in the.
Oh, you're right. Yep, you're right.
Yeah.
How
What
do
did
y'all
everyone
feel?
think? What? Yeah.
It's not my favorite, but I appreciate it.
It's interesting that it starts out sparse and then it kind of builds into this real rock, anthem type song, and then it breaks back down to just somebody tinkling on a piano.
and then
that's
the
kinda cool.
marching boots marching in the
Yeah.
background.
Yeah.
Like
That's
his pre-Purple Rain, song.
Yeah.
That big rock ballad kind of thing.
Yep.
I don't particularly care for these
I don't
kinds
either.
of ballads from Prince.
So
But I know that Joshua Bean is probably
Yeah.
like,
if he joins us,
Yeah,
her first
I love it.
appearance on a Prince album,
I love you, Melissa.
Wendy Melvoin, her first appearance on a Prince album here.
Oh,
Right?
okay.
So we have Lisa, Jill Jones, Vanity, and Wendy singing backup here.
Wow. And he was with all four of those women.
No.
I don't think it was with Wendy
Oh.
and Lisa.
Not Wendy.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
Wrong
All right.
team.
Susanna.
Oh, right. Yes, yes.
So Wendy must have been
I
like
suspect
17
at one
or
time that he
something,
did,
right?
though.
You think so?
Yeah.
Wait,
I
two
think
different
so.
conversations happening here. Go
Yeah,
ahead,
I'm sorry.
Aisha. No, that's all right.
I suspect that he did at
Wendy?
one point. Yeah.
And then Clark, you just said that Wendy was like 17.
She had to be 16 or 17 because she was only 18 when Purple Rain rolled around, right?
Oh, wow.
But remember, Prince is good at telling women, saying that women are younger
Yeah.
than they really are.
Right.
Yeah.
She still had to be really young, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think she was like 18.
Do you know
By
what
the time
song?
Purple Rain rolled around, she's like 20.
Oh, okay.
Do you know what song was in this style, but much better than this? Was 3 times 2 equals 6 on Vanity Six's album. It kind of has the same like feel, but I love that song a lot more than Free.
I got to hear that album again. It's been a long time. It's not on. It's
Yeah, I
not
like
print,
Free.
so. Yeah.
Oh, Melissa!
I know.
I like
love
Free.
her.
Why do you like it?
Yes. What do you like about it?
Just for what it stands for. Just be glad
Yeah,
that you're free,
it's
because
message.
in other places you're not free. They're
That's
not
true.
free, and look at
Yeah.
all we have that we take for granted.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
the
I don't-
message is lovely. I just don't want to hear him sing it.
I'm done.
Every once in a while, Prince would kind of bust out with kind of a mainstream patriotic streak, and this is one of those examples.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I mean, you could hear my dad probably enjoying this song for what it
Yeah.
says.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
skip it. I've never heard it to the end.
Really?
I won't even give it that time.
So
Love
No.
it.
you can't really pick out the girls. The girls are mixed so low in the mix, you can't really pick them out.
Yeah, I don't finish the song.
Don't you feel like he was like, yeah, you guys can sing on my album? And then he was like, this is a song, and they turned him way down, right? Like,
I feel like we had this conversation before about something.
probably. I
you
don't have a
imagine-
lot of.
It was that song.
Yeah.
It was the song on the 1999 Deluxe about Susanna. And the backward song. I think. Was that it?
I don't know that one, but that doesn't mean we didn't.
Oh, you
talk
didn't hear
about
the whole deluxe album? There's
No,
a
I
song
haven't
that
heard
he
the deluxe
sings. I
yet.
can't remember the name of it, where
Way too
she
many
sang
songs on
it
that.
first, and she sang it. He had her do it backwards, or they made it so it was
Oh.
backwards, so
Oh.
you can't understand what they're saying.
Interesting. Okay.
But that was her song, the backwards one, where you can't,
Okay.
you don't know the words.
Okay. All right.
Maybe it was in another group I
Yeah.
had this
It must have
Yeah, that
been
was
another
nice.
group, but I like that because it's the same idea, right? Where it's like,
Yeah.
what are you doing, man?
Like,
You know?
I'll give you this song, but this is it.
Right. You're going to
Can
sing
you
it
imagine
backwards. And nobody will know what you're saying.
Prince, I have a song for you all to sing. They probably were so
A Place
excited.
in Heaven. A Place in Heaven. That's
Oh,
what
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Then they get to studio. Ding, 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 ding. Okay.
They've melded together into
That's
like
so-
one
that is so
anonymous
selfish.
voice.
Yeah, I know.
That is so selfish. Oh my gosh.
It is. Mhm. But
So,
it's like the opposite of how we opened with 1999, which is
Yeah.
which was very generous, you know.
right.
The ego got in the way.
Exactly. He was like, I was generous enough, you know. There's a limit.
He's like, Wendy's time to shine will be later, not now.
Right.
She'll
Not
shine
my
on
time.
Parade. She gets her song on Parade.
Yeah, she gets her song.
Yeah.
All right. Any thoughts on Free before we flip over the record to the final side?
No, I always skip it. So
Move it along.
Thumbs up.
Do you think Jeffrey Dicker likes the song or no? I don't think he likes Free.
I'm going to say he doesn't like it.
Yeah, I'd say he doesn't.
I think Joshua Bean loves it.
Of course. Bean loves a ballad, and this is a ballad. This is a, you know, like, and that's the one thing I liked about it was like, oh, this is familiar.
It's a ballad
you
per
know?
se. It's not like a love ballad.
Right. It's not
Right.
a love ballad.
Yeah.
But
Reminds
it
me-
sounds just like all of his.
it
love
reminds me of The Ladder.
Oh, that's another skipper too.
Yeah, that's what it reminds me of.
I don't even know what you're talking about. So
Oh,
is
we'll
that a
get there in
Prince
two
song?
albums.
Oh, okay.
We're 2
oh,
albums away.
Hey, all right, all right.
Melissa, do you like the ladder?
I do. I love the
Oh,
ladder.
he's leaving. Oh, no, he's leaving.
I love you, Melissa. That's the best.
You know, there's a lot of Prince podcasts out there, but none like ours.
No, we are the best.
You know, someday these are gonna catch on, and people are gonna be like, "Oh, this crew here." Woo. Okay, so Free was not everybody's favorite. We flip over to side 4, and a drum beat is there. Some taxi horns.
Oh, yes.
Before Jody Watley did it in Looking for a New Love, Prince did it first in Lady Cab Driver.
Woo!
I'd say this is a
This is
pretty
a
sexy
great
song.
song.
Sexy song.
Yep.
Our buddy Jill Jones is the Lady Cab Driver.
Yes.
Yep.
And
Now-
she claims that role and makes it her own. you
Oh
know?
yeah.
It's like, well, I don't know.
Do you know what I didn't know though? I always thought it was Prince doing a falsetto than his own vocals, but it's actually Jill singing with Prince on the
Yeah.
song.
No?
I didn't realize that. I thought it
Jill
was.
said she's sorry. She's working.
Oh,
Boo!
I know.
Boo for
What's
work.
that? What's going on?
Well, this is from the
Sorry,
when Prince used to
working.
like to just get somebody playing the drums and play the bass. That's what like this is like Irresistible Bitch. This
Right.
song, yeah. But the ambient street noise that you hear at the start of it.
Mhm.
I was watching the movie The Sting, Paul Newman and Robert Redford,
okay.
and there's street scenes, and it's that same. It must be like free use sound effects or something.
Yes. No
Yeah.
way.
Because I
That's
heard it
really
in the movie.
neat.
Yeah, and I put the record on. I'm like, oh, it's the same exact thing.
That's
Interesting.
cool.
No.
What do they call that? Open source or something?
Something, yeah, like license-free music or license-free sounds or whatever. I don't know.
It's a common.
Yeah,
So
common use. Yeah.
Yeah.
kind of coming back with the innuendos a little bit in this, not as much as the next, I don't know if it's the next song, but when he talked about don't ask me any questions and I won't tell you any lies.
Mhm.
Like, do you really want to know?
Fair enough. The thing I like about this song is it's sexy, but there's also kind of like a dark undercurrent, like the cold.
Oh, yeah.
Like
There's some real anger in this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he gets out all his frustrations. It's like, you know, some people do use sex to get rid of the things, to get rid of their frustration about things. And he had a lot. I mean, jealousy of his brother and,
Fact that
What's
he's
going
short.
on with his brother? Right, the fact that he's so short.
Well,
What's going on with his brother?
Well, because the fact that his brother, when they were in high school, his brother Dwayne was tall, basketball player.
Oh,
Okay.
right, because he
all
says
the
that.
all
Right,
the
you're
girls
right.
were attracted to him and things like that. And Mira Prince, short and
Adorable.
all the girls
Short
thought
and
he was.
adorable.
All the girls thought he was just cute, because he was
Right.
so little, but
Yeah.
not,
There's another shot
Like
at
a
tourists.
pocket man.
Mhm.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, he
I
takes
like
another
this
shot
song.
Yeah.
I thought that when I first heard it, though, I did think he was saying lady truck driver. And that set it up a little bit differently for me. I was like, and then I was like, no. But there's a moment where I thought this would be a whole different song if Prince was like a lot lizard.
Dude, though, trouble winds a blowing. I'm growing cold. Get me out of here. I feel like I'm gonna die.
Yeah, it's dark.
Dark.
Well, I always thought that, didn't he spend time in New York and maybe wasn't happy in New York? I kind of thought
when he lived with his
that's
sister.
what this comes from.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, when he lived with his sister.
Why did he
in New
live
York.
with his sister, Aisha? Was it?
He was trying to get a record deal at that time. So that was like around 77, 76, 77.
Okay. I love the guitar on this one. That, like, I don't know, it's so good.
Yeah.
And this is
I like
another
the bass
longer
line.
song where every moment counts.
Yeah.
What did you say, Melissa?
Oh, I was just agreeing, but like his when he's going on a little rant at the end, kind of like his. I don't know if activism is the right word, but where he's talking about the politicians and war and the rich and the greedy and you know.
It's a little controversy era.
It really is because it doesn't feel like the whole album is mildly subversive, but this song feels just so angry, unlike the rest of them. They just don't, I don't know. It's interesting and I love it and I think it fits, but it, because it's that little bit that's like, don't forget this is also who I am.
Do you feel there's more extreme emotions on this album than any of the four before?
Yeah.
Like
There's more variety too of emotions, right? Because
maybe more honest emotions too. I mean, he's been angry before, but it felt like he was playing a role, whereas this is really his anger.
Yeah, I think this was when he was granted permission to do the double album. I think that he took it as a chance to really say things that he wanted to say in other albums and kind of held back just for the sake of trying new things to get on. But here he just kind of was like, let me just be me and I'm just going to explore everything I'm thinking and feeling on this one record because I've got 2 albums to do it. And in this I need this to get me on MTV and all of that. And so he really just did what was real.
Why did he? I mean, like, I don't know if we know the answer or whatever, but if anyone does, it's probably going to be Aisha. That he was it's fairly early in his career and certainly early in his, being this Prince, that he was given a double album. That seems like a big, thing to give somebody who, has been doing okay, right? But, he's not like this is the album that does it.
They seem to really believe in him there.
They always saw him.
Yes.
Yeah, they always saw him as a younger Stevie Wonder, and so I think that they had faith in his ability to write a good song. I think they knew that they had something good there with him,
and they had to take chances.
It was just giving him time to find his footing, and so because they knew that another label would snatch him up right away.
Okay.
So
because they did give him time. several albums worth.
Because when you
Right.
think, I mean,
4 years. Yeah.
the truth of the
Yeah.
matter is that, you know, he had like "I Want to Be Your Lover" was #1 on the R&B charts.
Mhm.
Right.
"Controversy" was #1 on the dance charts.
Mhm.
So
Right, he wasn't a slouch.
exactly, but he was trying to get that #1 spot on the pop charts.
Yeah.
And so I think that they saw the success that he had, and they could see that he was inching toward that. And I think that they listened to like 1 or 2 of the songs and were kind of like, yeah, now we have confidence. You can do
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
And I think that's how that probably happened.
Yeah, and Warner Brothers probably deserves some credit for that. You know?
Yeah.
But- so
Yeah.
Yeah, and it reminds me of Stevie Wonder's "Songs in the Key of Life," where he had that double album and he really explored different sounds,
Yeah.
different emotions in that album. And I think that Prince, you know, probably emulated
Yeah.
the way that Stevie Wonder approached that album.
All right. So, do we have any final thoughts on Lady Cab Driver?
Good song.
Sounded like they
great
had a good
bass
time.
line. Great
Yeah.
bass line. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Jill sounds good on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds like they had a good time. All right.
always.
The next song was one that I kind of always skipped. It was never one of my favorites, so this one's up to y'all to talk about. All the Critics Love You in New York.
Oh, yeah. Let me pull it up. Because then can somebody start reading some lyrics, Melissa?
Like
I think
Awesome.
it's just like
you can dance if you want to. All the critics love you in New York.
Yeah. I liked this song. I think I
Yeah.
liked this song. Jeremy, why do you skip this song? Tell us.
I feel like the rest of the album had either really strong hooks or really strong emotions. This one just kind of
Okay.
felt like a little bit of a collage and kind of like a throwaway to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like filler. Yeah.
I love it.
I mean,
Yeah, I
think it
have a
fit.
heart next to it.
Yeah. I think it
Oh, I
fits
love
going
it.
right after Lady Cab Driver, you know?
Yes,
Yeah.
because you have the
You
New
have
York
that-
City thing.
Exactly. You
Yeah.
have that New York City feel. And then, you know, here he is in New York, and just realizing that if you do, you know, that the critics don't really care. They'll like anything.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean,
Whatever
that's
you
the
do.
that's the message there. Once you're famous, it doesn't matter. For example, take a look at the Kardashians. They're famous for being famous. And the
Right.
fact of the matter is that everything they do makes news.
Yeah.
You know, even if it, you know, even if they buy a dog, okay, that's like front page news. So I think that's what he's kind of exploring here.
And I will admit that I didn't get a chance to listen to the whole album right before the podcast. You know, I know it by heart from years and years, but maybe
Of course.
it'd be interesting to listen to this song in the context of the way social media is now in society. So I may get a new appreciation for it.
So
I do
Continued.
I do think it's interesting that he's throwing the word hippie around almost as a slur,
Yeah.
but he later winds up embracing that and referring to the fans as purple hippies. So
yeah, I was gonna say that. Like he says, hold on, I just lost it now.
Does he say that someone's jerking off or something? Like,
He said he's definitely masturbating.
oh yeah,
Yeah,
he's definitely
Yes.
masturbating.
Yes.
But that's something that
Says-
people
oh.
see. That's something that people see on the subway in New York all the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He says it's time for new direction. It's time for
Time for
jazz
jazz.
to die, which I totally was like, yes, Prince. I agree. Fourth day of November, we need a purple high. What's the fourth day of November?
Okay, so I was taking
Election
that
day?
into the presidential election
That's
because
what I-
it's always the first Tuesday of
Yeah.
November,
Okay. Right.
and it probably fell on it that whatever year he
It
wrote
usually
it.
ends
Right.
up being the 4th or the 5th.
So he's
Okay.
quite political in this, though, you know.
Yeah.
So he's like angry and seeing it as a source of power, but not fair power, right? And that there's no one's actually a good critic.
We need
So
new
all
direction.
The critics, right? All the critics aren't critical, you
This
know.
feels like
and-
another
Right.
distant
Yes,
cousin of like
right.
the controversy.
Yeah.
Well,
Kinda
sexuality. That
Yeah.
at the end of sexuality, it's kind of a cousin to it.
Yeah.
But
So-
it's a good
so-
jam.
So is he yelling "take a bath, hippie"? Like ironically, like that's somebody yelling at him, or is
I think I'm wondering if that's but if he's taking on the persona jazz, I mean he can't really mean jazz all jazz must die.
But I can see him walking around the streets of New York and somebody yelling stuff at somebody that looks like Prince in 1982.
I don't think he meant jazz to die. I don't know.
No. That's what I'm saying. Like he didn't, and I think that this persona that he's taking on is like that, yelling at these beautiful, colorful people. Like I do think he identifies not as a hippie per se, but as that the hippie is the good thing to be.
There was also that phrase at the time. You're talking all that jazz and stuff. And so that might be.
This is why we need Jill.
She's working, man.
She needs to quit her job.
That's right. or we need to get a life and not talk for hours. All right. Well, you know what? I'm gonna listen to this song on my way to work tomorrow. I think maybe it's time for a revisit.
Yeah, I need to re-listen to it.
So I will report back soon. Any thoughts on All the Critics Love You in New York?
It's another one that he apparently liked because he brought it back a lot in the later years too.
Did he really?
Yeah.
He
did.
And once again, you have the stylized.
He would see that too with the Kardashians.
And he would say instead of New York, he'd say whatever city he was in.
Oh, yeah. Fun, personal.
And I like the U is stylized as a U.
Yes. Right, because we figured out that it was the last album that he started asserting himself. Right.
So there we go.
So yeah.
All right. Well, I'm going to say something controversial, and you all know that I'm never a huge fan of the ballads, so I never really listened to International Lover too much either. It was never one of my favorites.
Melissa, are you astounded?
I am too. I love that song.
That's a great song.
I don't think I liked it either. I'm gonna look at the lyrics.
Back to a lot of innuendos.
Yeah.
Talking about
I like the talk at the end, like he's talking about your seat may be used as a flotation device.
Yeah.
In case of overexcitement.
So my bedroom was empty. If there was anyone there, they were only there for about 5 minutes and they left. So I mean, these long extended jams. These songs lasted longer than my sexual encounters and high school and adulthood. So,
but this is a straight up stand up comedy routine. He's his own flight attendant on himself being a sexy airplane. I mean, it's hilarious from start to finish. Everything about it is very funny. Yeah.
Yeah. And we assume that he meant it to be funny, right, Clark?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's so ridiculous. The lyrics are absurd. International Lover. That's right, baby. Let me take you around the world. It's just.
Your seat cushion can be used as a flotation device. Come on. Yeah.
I just don't think it's the most clever thing he's ever said.
No, I agree.
I think, you got to think about when he started doing world tours, and then he was like hearing that all the time from the stewardess. So it kind of like, hey, I can make a song about that.
Yeah. But should he have ended with this song? Should he have ended the album with this song?
It's one of my gripes that he doesn't get credit for being as funny as he was. And this is a primary example of that. So.
I think it's a good song to end the album, actually.
I do think it's a good
kind
song.
of like, I don't know, he used the same idea in Purple Rain and closing with the ballad. I mean, it's something that he started doing. If you notice all the albums after that followed, with the exception of Around the World in a Day.
Oh, Temptation, you're right.
Yeah, but Temptation is also slow.
Yeah,
it's like it's a slow kind of song.
Slow
so
burner.
Yeah, so he did that all the way up, all the way up through.
So he establishes a pattern.
Love Sexy, kind of.
Yeah. That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
All right.
And ending the albums with these songs.
His concerts were always really good about the pacing. Like he knew, like he could throw X numbers of dance numbers at you, and they kind of knew when to. Okay, it's time to back it down. Let's relax for a little bit, catch our breath, do a couple slow numbers, and then pick it back up again. I always thought that was masterful the way he laid out his concerts.
Yeah,
I do like the song Purple Rain, but after that, I don't think I like any of the closing tracks until Love Sexy.
I
I know
don't
that's
like
a
Purple Rain.
That's a
okay.
controversial statement because everyone loves Sometimes It Snows in April, but
Yeah.
I don't,
You know what?
I don't
love
love
it
it.
because
Okay,
it's
I don't
not the
either.
prettiest song. I always remember it as prettier than it actually is.
I think it's
But,
Sandra
you know,
Bernhard
more
singing it.
more melodic, I think, than it actually is. But I love it because I just I like that album, and I just love the sorrow, you know, because I'm a goth girl, and and that's a sad ass album. So.
I listened to that song last Wednesday, you know, and just kind of dealing with my emotions over the
Sure.
loss of my brother, and it didn't fit.
Mm.
It didn't fit. I just was kind of like, this doesn't have the aura or sentiment that I need to remember him. So I had to go to old school hip hop tracks.
Okay.
But
What'd you go to?
huh?
What did you go to?
Oh, I went to the Juice Crew, the Symphony, uh, Pete Rock and CL Smooth. They reminisce over you, and you know things of that era and earlier.
Yeah.
Dougie Fresh and
Nice.
Slick Rick with Lottie
Yes.
Dottie and those kinds of things.
Nice.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that connected me. But Sometimes It Snows in April. People listen to that song around the time of his death, and I'm just like, it never connected.
Mm-mm.
See, well,
It
we
never
can talk about that when the album comes
Yeah,
out.
it never
When we get to that review.
for me.
Wait, what? What?
This is like, stop talking about that song.
And we can talk about that when we get to that review.
Sorry, you're right. You're right. You're right. You're right.
There's all kinds of coincidences around that song. So yeah.
So has
Cool.
anyone heard Sandra
Thank you, Melissa.
Bernhard's version though?
No,
Mm-mm.
Okay.
No,
Vaguely.
gosh,
Vaguely.
no.
I don't think I would want to.
I don't think I want to either.
It's on that show
I mean,
Pose.
does she make it a joke? I
No,
don't understand.
There's a scene on the show Pose where they're at an HIV ward. It's actually a nice scene.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a
I would
nice
like
scene.
to see that. Actually,
She sounded all right.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
International Lover. Isn't this in the tour where he was on the bed? Like this was a theatrical performance.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm.
All right.
Yeah.
We're all
It's so-
it
it was
Nice
so-
image.
It was so funny because the things that he did with the shadows, the way like he opened his pants, and so to the point that it looked like, you know, it could be his
Right there.
stuff.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
you know, it just the way he performed this song, he was very masterful at knowing how it was going to come across to the audience.
Yeah.
Right.
Such a performer. He's such a performer.
Did that with
Yeah.
the shadow at the Super Bowl too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes, he did. He worked that
He was like-
guitar. Mm.
I do feel like we need to mention any thoughts on International Lover before we move on to a better song? No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
That's the last song, isn't it?
Well, I feel like we should mention a couple B-sides just in passing.
Ooh, okay.
How Come You Don't Call Me Anymore, covered by Alicia Keys, correct?
Oh,
Yes.
yes.
That's a
And
nice
Stephanie
ballad.
Mills.
It is nice.
I think
Love it.
Stephanie Mills did it too.
Stephanie Mills. That's just basically a
I
piano
think.
and voice track, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great song.
Yeah.
Yes.
Irresistible Bitch, funky as fuck.
Yes.
Yeah, love it.
Love Lisa on the vocals. I think it's Wendy and Lisa on the vocals on that one.
Mm.
It's not Jill.
Oh, maybe it's Jill. I'm not sure.
Ugh.
But I love the it kind of has the same kind of like chime sound as Rapture by Blondie. So I always love that.
Ooh.
Yeah.
What's the name
Well,
of
and
the
Lady
song? Put it in
Cab
the
Driver.
chat.
Irresistible Bitch, so good.
Okay. Oh, it's
So
on.
good.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
And were there any other B-sides? Horny Toad, was that from this?
That was on
another-
Delirious. Yeah, that was the B
Yeah, I
side.
think so,
Delirious.
yeah.
And that's another one of those rockabilly.
Oh,
Always.
okay. All right. All right.
And I think Horny
I'll
Toad was the
look at it.
worst of all his rockabilly songs.
And had
still
you
like
not
it.
heard?
Sorry,
and
go
had
ahead.
had you not heard Irresistible Bitch before?
No.
Oh my
Oh,
gosh.
man.
No, I know.
That's
I'm
a
looking
jam.
it up right now. Okay.
excited.
I'm gonna I didn't even know there was like this extended amazing version of this album. So
I mean, the
because I don't
demos.
want to listen to 12 versions
No.
of the same song ever.
I feel
There's
like
a great live version of Irresistible Bitch from the Purple Rain tour too. So
Okay.
that's on the
Alright.
album.
I feel like I must have heard it before, right?
I don't think you
Every
know what?
Friday night I call your butt up on the phone.
That fateful night when we were hanging out at that person's house, and I did have the hits and B-sides CD, so that was on the B-sides.
Probably. So it's somewhere in
it's
that
somewhere in
memory.
I
All right,
think
so
at
wait,
this
what am I
point,
looking at? What's the
I
name
think
of
at this
that?
point is where he started really like exploring the B-sides
Yeah.
and
Irresistible
really
Hit.
delving
I'm adding
into
it.
doing the songs for them, because this period of B-sides is excellent.
I think his B-sides were good all the way through, even Batman. I'd argue.
Yeah,
And
but I'm
sometimes
not a fan of
better.
Batman.
See, I
What
love that song.
about the
Sex.
song Vagina?
No,
I don't like the
I'm
I don't like
kidding.
the
I mean,
Batman
it sounds
soundtrack.
terrible.
I feel like a
Wait,
lot of
what's
those.
what's the other song that's great on
How
here?
come you don't?
The
How come you don't call
B-side?
me?
How come you don't call me
Okay.
anymore? So I feel like on the box
Okay,
set there is a
I'm
lot of
adding it.
unreleased tracks, but I put the B-sides in a different category because they were actually
Yeah.
released
Yeah.
and
Yeah, because
so
those
good.
came to light. Yeah.
I'm always a little
Wow,
iffy
there's a lot
listening
of
to
shit
the
on here.
expanded versions. I mean, I don't know. I like to hear
Yeah.
them, but I'd never put them in heavy rotation.
What's Possessed?
Yeah, that's another one from
Possessed
that
is
era.
kind of like a tribute to James Brown.
Okay.
It's a very James Brownish song,
Right.
especially
What
when they
about-
played it live.
Okay,
Yeah.
what about If It'll Make You Happy?
Wasn't that Sheryl Crow?
If it makes you happy. Cheryl
Sorry.
Quo?
It's
You
on the
mean?
1999 Deluxe.
All right, what about You're All I Want? Is that a slow jam or?
It's kind of like a poppy kind of boppy tune, I think.
Okay.
If I remember right.
What about Colleen? That's a name.
That's Marsha's
It's
other
good.
roommate.
I can't remember how that goes.
And doesn't he
No
do the song
pressure.
later, Colleen Bacon Skin or something?
Yes, he
like
does.
Yeah.
that? So his Colleen and Colleen Bacon Skin.
It's on the It's on the
Wow.
Crystal
I
Ball,
think
isn't it?
she was a producer or somebody in the
Oh, okay.
She's Marsha's
background.
friend.
Yes. Yes. Part of that menage a trois.
All right. So we've reached the point where everyone has to say
Oh.
what they rate this album on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being a legendary classic, 1 being complete garbage. So, does everybody have their number?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to start at the top and work my way down. Ann Fearman, 1999, scale of 1 to 10.
I'm going to go with I'm equivocating between a 7 and an 8. A 7.
A 7? Okay, Aisha.
I'm gonna go with the
Melissa.
9 because he's almost at that level. He's like sitting on the precipice
Yeah.
of getting to a 10. So he's 9.
Okay, Melissa.
This is a 10 for me. This is like one of his iconic albums to me.
Clark.
I'm with Melissa. It's a 10. It's a top 3 Prince album, and it's a top. It's an important album in music history, as far as I'm concerned.
Well,
I'm gonna give
we're not basing this on like are we? Like
We
we don't
can.
have any. That's the thing. Like we don't have any.
Didn't we base the first one off of he was doing all the instruments?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I just based
Wow.
mine off of how many songs on there I like.
oh,
Right?
I like them all.
That's it. I know you do, Melissa.
I give it a 9.5. 9.5.
Ooh.
I don't always like them all.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Okay.
Melissa, list 3 Prince songs you don't like, just off
Yes.
the top of your head.
Purple and Gold.
Oh, that is
Ronnie
bad.
Tuck the Russia.
Yes. Yes.
I can't remember the third
Okay,
one.
that's all right. You don't need to.
Hot Summer?
That was enough. Hot Summer.
Yeah. That was a knockoff that he did. St. Paul Peterson made fun of it. Yeah.
The whole Batman album, I don't even recognize it as a Prince album.
So does that mean you won't be in the Batman chat? Because I feel like I kind of enjoy you being in there saying how much
I
you don't like it.
know.
I'll come, yeah.
Yes.
Good.
But I just
Good.
I'm not a fan.
It's grown on
I
me.
understand.
It's grown on me.
There's
Yeah.
songs on it I absolutely love. So, yeah.
I like the future.
I like Graffiti Bridge as a better soundtrack than Batman.
Ooh, I feel like we have some
I
heated.
agree, but I still like Batman.
We have some heated Prince discussions coming up in the
Oh,
future.
I'm excited.
All right, I'm going to pause the recording. We can still talk for a second, but thank you to all my Patreon subscribers throwing some cash my way. Thanks to my friends for talking about music with me. What better way could life be spent? And thanks to everyone that subscribed to my YouTube channel. And remember, the critics love you in New York and in Tampa, Florida. My name's Jeremy Gloff. Goodbye.